Russia will not be satisfied. It has other interests. They don't just want some territory. No, their old man, he's gone crazy. We will fight back for everything. No matter how hard it is, you shouldn't give up.
We're here today in the city of Kramatorsk, the heart of the remainder of Ukrainian-controlled Donetsk Oblast. The place where I am right now is about 20 to 25 kilometers away from Russian forces, and it's just safe enough here for there still to be this beautiful park for families, for kids to be walking around. But Russia's aim in their summer offensive is to change that, to get closer or to take this part of Ukraine. To understand what's really going on in this part of the front line and to understand what will make the difference between Ukrainian lines holding firm and Kramatorsk, for example, staying strong and falling back on the other hand, and to better get a grasp on the battle within the Ukrainian military to change and hold firm against Russia for years to come, we're speaking today to a battalion commander from Ukraine's elite Azov Brigade. This interview was recorded in Ukrainian, and once again you have a choice on the audio track between either listening to Ukrainian with English subtitles or an AI-dubbed version in English.
I don't know if it's correct to call this the Kostiantynivka sector, but we can see the movement on the deep state map. We can see the advance, especially between Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka, which seems to threaten both cities.
And your sector is in the middle of all of that. Help me understand. What does it look like through your eyes on the ground? Does it feel like the beginning of an encirclement? And why, in broader operational terms, are they able to advance like this?
First of all, the overall situation is indeed complicated. It is not critical right now, but it is difficult. The enemy managed to advance in some sectors, especially in the city of Donetsk, took the commanding heights. The enemy uses multi-story buildings to launch its drones and puts pressure on our positions. We have some problems with logistics because the enemy is conducting remote mining of roads. So we're unable to use vehicles to bring troops, ammunition and other necessities to forward positions or to bring weapons in and out of those positions. It's difficult. We are demanding the routes that we operate on. So sometimes we manage to drive up right to the forward edge of the front line and rescue our wounded. We use our armored vehicles to drive all the way to the zero line and rescue our guys, take them out. The enemy uses drones and artillery against us, but our electronic warfare systems work well for us. The last few evacuations we conducted were carried out without any casualties or loss of equipment. The drones would fall before reaching our cars. So this is the complex work of electronic warfare units that skillfully use their devices. They are different, with different ranges. It is impossible to maintain the defense for long. The enemy is simply destroying house after house, razing everything to the ground. So we still sometimes have to withdraw slightly, take cover and establish new positions. That way, by completely destroying a settlement, the enemy advances by destroying it, leveling it to the ground. So, from a logical point of view, it is impossible to indefinitely maintain the positions we had at the beginning of the campaign a year ago. So, yes, we withdraw slightly to save the personnel, because our personnel are our greatest asset.
The Russian drones, they are now complicating logistics significantly, attacking both civilian and military vehicles. How new is this phenomenon, and how dangerous is it, in your opinion, that cities that used to be important logistical hubs are now being monitored from the sky, and whether something can be done about it?
Look, it's only logical because the front line is moving anyway. That's one thing. Secondly, new types of drones are being developed. Everything is progressing. Now, even with fiber optic drones, the enemy can fly in 30 kilometers deep. And if you look at the deep state map, the closest Russian positions to, let's say, Kostiantynivka are less than 30 kilometers away. The nearest point is in the direction of Chasiv Yar. Therefore, this is not news to us. We were prepared for this. We understood that sooner or later it would happen. When it comes to fiber optic drones, we can't really do much to counter them. So yeah, it's true, that's how it is. To counter radio-controlled drones, there is electronic warfare that makes it impossible to operate a drone if used in the correct range. And for civilians, as well as for the military, it is a threat. And aside from electronic warfare, there are no countermeasures, except for a few air defense points from where drones are shot at with firearms. The success rate is small, but some drones are shot down. We apply all the means and resources at our disposal, but there is no panacea, none.
We have talked about drones, about logistics, but throughout the army, commanders of nearly all brigades say that the main problem is the manpower shortage. Of course, this is mainly about the infantry. There is little replenishment, while the experience of the infantrymen on the battlefield is becoming deadlier and deadlier. But Azov is a unique unit in this regard. How is your situation with people now?
Well, like everyone else, we also lack people. We lose people much faster than we get new ones. The situation is difficult now. First, we do not accept those who were mobilized by force. Only volunteers fight here. Volunteers who made the personal decision to come to the recruitment center and join us. This is the first thing. Secondly, when we have a basic combat training course, after which not everyone ends up in a combat unit. If they have any health issues or anything else, they can't get into combat units. We are selective, and that's very, very good. Because this way, for a soldier who serves for a year or two, has experience, when a new person joins, for example, an infantry unit, they won't have many questions about this person, and they can easily go to positions with them and not have any problems. And if, for example, they were given a mobilized person in such a case where we don't know how he was trained, what he can and can't do, what his health condition and physical capabilities are, I would not want to go on a combat mission with such a person. So it is beneficial for us that we are selective, even now. But the war has been going on for 3.5 years, and everyone who wanted to join is already here or has already been discharged due to health reasons or after being injured. So it's very difficult to recruit new people now, very difficult, even for us. That's a problem for us. And as for the infantry, these are the bravest guys. You have to be a real warrior to join the infantry and fight. But no matter how you look at it, all the work, all the victories, everything is achieved on the ground, and that means infantry. Without infantry, there will be no victory. This is also a fact that there is nothing without infantry. It is the infantry who will plant the flag in a liberated area. Well, a drone can also do it, but that can't be considered a true act of liberation. That's why the infantry is always needed. It is our main force.
Probably, especially now that we are in such a deep state of war of attrition, and the most valuable thing is the very lives of Ukrainian soldiers, there are, I suppose, specific practices that you can share. But also, as I understand it, there is this work culture of keeping people safe as the top priority. Are you successful in passing it on to regular combat units?
We are trying. A fighter must understand that in the event of some emergency, injury, or God forbid, death, we will do everything possible to get them out of there. That's it. That gives them some peace of mind, more motivation. That's in contrast to a soldier who understands that the unit in which they serve has already lost many people. Many bodies have remained on the battlefield, who sees the questionable attitude of the commands, the questionable attitude toward the soldiers who have undergone treatment and are returning to the ranks. This is also a major topic. It's absolutely necessary to work with recovering soldiers. We need to bring them back. Perhaps someone can't serve in a combat unit after their injuries. But in our brigade, we try to find a place for everyone where they can contribute most effectively, where they can take on tasks proportionate to their physical abilities. Because it's true that in some brigades and units, the attitude toward wounded soldiers is terrible. Some are brought back and some are kicked out. We have people with disabilities, with lost limbs, who continue to serve, and they want to serve. They call from the hospitals saying, "Take me back sooner, I want to go back."
I'm curious because I remember how, throughout Azov's history, you openly sought, the unit sought, to adopt NATO standards in training, in management and combat in general. But now you have faced conditions that no NATO state has ever encountered in real combat, a sky saturated with drones, and especially when going up against such experienced specialists. What should be the main lessons here for Western partners who are watching this war?
Look, the structure itself, the management decision-making, it hasn't changed. Some aspects have changed. The first thing they need to do is develop their own production of drones and other unmanned systems. This is the main thing. The future is in it. Everyone understands that. The main issue is that they should be as cheap as possible. If, for example, Americans have really cool drones, but they cost $60,000, then they won't be able to win with these drones. If someone can make them for $500, even if they're lower quality, there will be 100 times more of them. So the main rule is that they should be as cheap as possible, and on a massive scale, then you can fight. So the countries that are now observing our conflict, our war with Russia, must understand that the focus should be on self-reliance, not just buying something from someone else. Domestic production, that would be the key to success. And also the development of artificial intelligence, so that drones can communicate with each other, independently identify targets and strike them. That would be a victory. The fewer people we have on the battlefield, living people, the better. If we can replace them with robots, it will be the best thing to do right now. Because technological progress doesn't stand still, and our war has proved to everyone that the doctrines that are 20 years old, they are no longer effective in some aspects.
If we think more globally about how this war of attrition can end, this year at the geopolitical level, there has been a lot of talk about negotiations, about a ceasefire, about the war possibly stopping suddenly. I wonder how you, as someone who has been so closely involved in the war on the ground all this time, without any breaks, as I understand it, and who is also part of a unit that thinks a lot about the future of the nation, view everything that is happening at the geopolitical level right now?
Як ви дивитесь на все, що на геополітичному рівні відбувається, і яке...
What is your vision for how the war could end?
Purely my personal vision is that there are several possible courses of events. The best one for us is the death of the dictator, whether through assassination or natural death. That's the first. Russia would no longer be able to maintain its people, its society, in the state that it's in now. This is a propaganda machine, it would be broken. That's the first. That would be the best option for us. Then we would be able to reclaim our territories. Probably not all of it, because the longer a territory is under occupation, the harder it becomes to bring back the people living there. Because they have been under propaganda for 10 years, like in Donetsk, for example. A whole generation has grown up on this propaganda. And it will be very difficult for us to bring them back to us, to the family of Ukraine, the people themselves, I mean. But it is still possible. 10 years is not that long, it's a lot, but not long enough to say that it's impossible. Another option is to freeze the conflict along the front line. It's possible, but we would never recognize occupied territories as part of Russia. Never. That's a fact that won't change. Formally, it may become frozen, but what's next? This is not a resolved conflict. It can't remain like that. You can't leave it like that. The international community, all countries must finally understand who Putin is, what his regime is, and what they are trying to do. This cannot go unpunished in our world in the 21st century. We have a lot of questions for the world. He should have been crushed, simply crushed by sanctions, so that his own society, his people would take pitchforks in their hands and destroy him to hell. I don't know. If they change the leadership, if they completely change the attitude of their country toward others, if they admit all their wrongdoings, then this too can be changed. But on our own, I understand that we cannot do this on our own. We don't have the resources that they have. Both human and natural resources that they exploit, we don't have this, so we can only achieve complete victory with the help of the world and their pressure. This includes the United States, Europe, and ultimately all other countries in the world. If everyone understands the importance of removing rose-colored glasses, they will really see what is happening in our country, what is being done by the hands of these, I don't even know what to call them. I want to say it in a way that I shouldn't say on camera. Only this way can we fully preserve our territory, only this way. But for us, the most important thing is people. The most important thing is people. People need to be protected. People need to be protected, and we need to try to bring back those from the occupied territories. We must show them, even though there is censorship on their territory and it is very difficult to reach them, show them how we really live, what our values are and what we strive for. They understand it completely differently because the situation there is entirely different.
But from our side, the only way to stop the war is to stop Russia. How long do you think they can continue like this?
They have enough despicable people. Many are former convicts. There are a lot of them. They have no prospects in Russia, so they keep joining and joining. And there are a lot of them. There aren't many people there who have good jobs, good education, or who own some kind of business, because many businesses that cooperated with Europe and America had to shut down. No, they have nothing. Those who had brains and opportunities left Russia. Those who don't have the opportunity, they stayed. I think that many people don't know what it's like to live differently. They don't understand how it's possible because they lived their whole lives in Russia. They saw the same things over and over.
It's interesting, and you also said that in no case will Ukraine recognize the occupied territories as Russian. As I understand it, you yourself are from Donetsk Oblast, from Donetsk, and now you are also fighting in the Ukrainian Donetsk Oblast for the Ukrainian Donetsk Oblast. How would you respond to people who say, just draw a line there, give this region away, and then Russia will be satisfied, and that's how you can end the war?
Russia will not be satisfied. It has other interests. They don't just want some territory. No, their old man, he's gone crazy. There are plans for denazification, which no one can, damn it, decipher what it means, and other nonsense. They have no purpose, because if there was a purpose, they would say something. They just destroy everything. They don't need land. They already have plenty of undeveloped land. I don't even know how much, a lot. They have enough land. These cities that they destroyed, they will never rebuild them. They can't even rebuild Mariupol for show. It's been 3 years, they can't do anything. Even just for show, they can't because they don't have the resources. And here, half of Donbas is destroyed. It's unreal, it's impossible to restore. And that's it. And it will never be the same there, never. So I don't know. I was in Donetsk when it all started. This was all planned by Russia. It required decisive action by some authorities on time. Everything could have been different if military orders had been given promptly at the right locations. There were problems. Unfortunately, no one has been held accountable for this, for what happened to Crimea, what happened to Donbas. I saw it, I understood that everything could have been done differently, but time was lost. Now we have what we have. We will fight back for everything. No matter how hard it is, you shouldn't give up. Not everything is over. Nothing is over. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done, and there is much more to come. Life is ahead.
Right now, in the 4th year of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine, the attention of a lot of international media is turning away from this war and this country at a time when the stakes for the existence of Ukraine in the future could not be higher. We here at the Kyiv Independent will always be in Ukraine and will always do our best to bring you bigger and better coverage of the battlefield, including through this new format where we're doing these long-form interviews with some of the country's top commanders. But to be able to keep doing that, we do need your help. We don't rely on foreign grants or billionaire owners. Everything we do is made possible by our community of readers. So if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, join us by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you.